Hello dear students, again I am back with a new video on a new topic. As a responsibility of ours, we all teachers are trying our level best to reach you out through this mode of communication, and we believe that it is helping you at this point of time. Now I will continue with a new chapter, that is Unit 2, Peripheral Device. That is the part of the same chapter, that is the first chapter, but it is the second unit of the first chapter. The chapter name is Peripheral Device. So let us continue with the topic. Students, to make a complete computer system, we need certain peripheral devices. Now these peripheral devices are input devices, output devices, and along with input and output devices, we need to store the data on which we work upon, and to store the data we need secondary storage devices. So in this video we will see mainly about these three topics. So let us begin with the input devices. An input device can be compared to the sense organs like eyes and ears of a human being. We use our eyes and ears to see and listen. Dear students, now if you see, whatever we see and whatever we listen, when it goes to our mind through these two sense organs, then only our mind reflects and we react. Same way, a computer uses the input devices to accept the data. The input devices sends the data to the CPU for further processing. So, input devices are those units through which we send instruction and data to the machine, that is to the processor for processing. Thus, input devices are essential for a computer to work properly, as we need eyes and ears for a human body. The different types of input devices are keyboard, mouse, light pen, scanner, web camera, microphone and touch screen. Now these two topics like microphone and touch screen are not there in your book, students, so I have included these two also, and we will see each topic one by one. Now let us talk about keyboard first. Now as you can see a keyboard layout on the screen. Now a computer keyboard is one of the primary input device used with a computer. Similar to a typewriter, a keyboard is composed of buttons that create letters, numbers and symbols as well as perform other functions. A keyboard has different types of keys as given above. Now if you can see, dear students, it is a colored keyboard, that means a colored chart is given, and through the colored chart you can find out what are the control keys, what are the function keys, what are the typing keys, navigation keys, numeric keypad and special character keys. When we talk about control keys, here all the control buttons like control, alt, shift, all these buttons are there. When we talk about function buttons like F1, F2, F3 and so on, all these buttons we see, and all this button comes under function keys. When we talk about alphanumeric keys, the yellow pad, there it is a combination of alphabet and numbers. When we talk about navigation keys, you might have seen that 4 arrow buttons like up, down, left, right and page up, insert, delete and many more, page up, page down, all these buttons are there under navigation keys. In numeric key, that is a special numeric keypad along with an enter button and plus sign, minus sign, etc. Now special character keys. Now these keys are embedded in the alphanumeric buttons. Now these special characters, sometime it works with shift keys, sometime it works with control keys, but most of the time it works with shift key. These are called special character keys. Now let us talk about mouse. A mouse is popularly known as pointing device. Now why it is called pointing device, dear students? A pointing device, or sometime called a pointing tool, is a hardware input device that allows the user to move the mouse cursor in a computer program or on the desktop of GUI operating system. Using a mouse pointing device, you can point at or manipulate any object or text on the screen. For example, using a pointing device, you could point at and select an icon from a list of given icons on the screen. It is connected to the CPU. It consists of a roller at the bottom on which the upper part rolls. An optical mouse may not contain a roller but has a light source at the base to detect the position of the cursor. A mouse has 2 or 3 buttons and a scroller. It moves on a soft rubber base called rubber pad. With the movement of the mouse, a pointed arrow, which is also called a mouse cursor, moves on the screen. The arrow on the screen is used to select items from the menu. The mouse cursor is taken to the desired place and then clicked to get the task done. Now you might have seen, dear students, sometimes we do single click, single left click, double left click, right click. So for all these clicks we have a different features. Now when we do single click, generally we select some icons on the screen. When we do double left click, generally we open some applications on the screen. When we do right clicks, generally what we see, a menu comes on the screen, a pop-up menu comes on the screen where we can see different sub options, and this is the way we move upon. Nowadays cordless keyboard and mouse are also used by a mass number of people. A wireless keyboard and mouse are used for computers, tablets or laptops and run on radio frequency, infrared and Bluetooth technology. A wireless keyboard or mouse can be connected using radio frequency technology with the help of 2 devices, a radio wave transmitter and a receiver. The radio wave transmitter is inside the wireless keyboard. The radio wave receiver is plugged into a keyboard or a mouse port or the USB port. Once the receiver and the transmitter are plugged in, the computer recognizes the keyboard and mouse. Wireless keyboards are also based on infrared technology that use light waves to transmit signals to other infrared enabled devices. But in case of radio frequency technology, a wireless keyboard communicates using signals which range from 27 MHz and up to 2.4 GHz. Moreover, Bluetooth technology is also used in wireless keyboard and mouse. These devices connect and communicate to their parent devices via Bluetooth protocol. Now, let us talk about another pointing device and also an input device called light pen. Light pen is a pointing device which has a pen-like structure. Inside the pen there is a photosensor which detects light. The pen is placed on the screen of the monitor that sends light signal. The photosensor transmits its equivalent signal to the CPU, that is to the central processing unit. This enables us to draw a picture directly on the screen. The pen is generally used in computer aided designing. Now let us talk about one of the frequently used input device called scanner. Scanner is an input device which allows the user to take the images of the text or photographs from the source. Students, a scanner is an input device that scans documents such as photographs and pages of text. When a document is scanned, it is converted into a digital format. This creates an electronic version of the document that can be viewed and edited on a computer. Most scanners are flat bed devices, which means they have a flat scanning surface. This is ideal for photographs, magazines and various documents. Most flatbed scanners have a cover that lifts up so that books and other bulky objects can also be scanned. Another type of scanner is a sheet fed scanner which can only accept paper documents. While sheet fed scanners cannot scan books, some models include an automatic document feeder which allows multiple pages to be scanned in sequence. Students, basically a scanner performs the following 3 functions. Scanner captures the images that can be saved as a file or sent to an image editing application. Scanner scans the image and send it to the printer to get hard copy at the same time. Also, whatever the data is scanned, whatever the file is scanned through a scanner and is saved to a computer, it can be emailed also to deliver it directly to an email editor. Now when we say scan, the first function, that means whatever the hard copy we keep on the scanner, that is captured as a soft copy. As I said, it is captured in the form of a digital format, and the same digital format can be copied also. We can take out a hard copy of the same again and again whenever it is needed, if it is connected with a printer also. And the same hard copy, when it is converted into a soft copy, it can be sent to an email editor, and through email editor we can send that soft copy to anyone through email. Webcam. Webcam are the most common video capturing devices connected to a computer or computer networks. It is often connected with a USB port. A webcam generally includes a lens, an image sensor, and some electronic components through which images are captured in the system. They are well known for their low manufacturing cost and flexible applications. Now most of the computer manufacturing companies have begun building webcams directly into laptops and desktop screens. This eliminates the need for an external USB port. A webcam can be used for video chatting over the internet. It allows real-time communication from anywhere in the world. Webcams are also used for security purpose and to reach millions of mainstream PC users worldwide. Students, webcam comes with a software that needs to be installed on the computer to help users to record video or stream of a video from the web. Webcams are capable of taking pictures as well as high definition videos also, although the video quality can be lower compared to other camera models. As a characteristic, if we say if we compare it with other models of camera, webcams are considerably lower in cost, especially from a video telephony perspective. Now let us talk about touch screen. A touch screen is a display that also serves as an input device. A touch screen is a display device that allows the user to interact with a computer by using their finger or a stylus. Now stylus is a kind of pen, dear students, through which we touch on the screen to give a command to the computer. They are useful alternative to a mouse or a keyboard for navigating a graphical user interface. Touch screens are used on a variety of devices like laptop, desktop, smartphones, tablets, ATM machines, etc. One more important input device, students, that is microphone. A microphone is a device that captures audio by converting sound waves into an electric signal. A microphone is called as an input device because a microphone sends information to a computer. For example, when a microphone records a voice, the voice in the form of audio is sent to the computer and stored on the computer's secondary storage device, that is to the hard drive. Once the recording is stored as an audio file, it can be played, edited and shared as and when required. Now dear students, you might have seen this microphone while in our assembly. Now what happens, whatever is said over the mic, that comes as an output through a speaker. Now here speaker becomes an output device and because the mic captures the voice, so it becomes an input device. It captures the voice so that the voice can come out through a speaker. Students, here the topic input devices comes to an end. In the next video, I will continue with a new topic called output devices. So before I proceed, just a small message for you here on the screen. Study like there is no tomorrow, because if you keep putting off your studies for tomorrow, you will probably be too late. Yes, dear students, it is true. Push yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you and you know it better. So before I end this video, I will say stay home, stay safe, and thank you.